Good morning. Back to school day today. We're going to discuss, proper Brahma, we're going to discuss improving email deliverability, or at least a constituent of email deliverability. Email deliverability is made up of various facets. Its foundations, which is what we'll be talking about today. There are, you can look at contacts and better management of contacts. You can look at things like subject lines and content. But today, in terms of email deliverability and improving email deliverability, we'll just look at the foundations of it. It's only a 2-minute overview. The objective of this is just to get some interest and encourage you to pick the phone up or drop us an email and say, can we have a chat about improving our email deliverability? Obviously, if you improve email deliverability, then all the good things that can come from email marketing, you stand a much better opportunity of exploiting those. Better open rates, better responses, more two-way communication, that sort of thing, more sales. We regard this as really important because it's an issue that not many people know about, and it's not going to go away. It's just going to get more and more and more important. So if you deal with it now, then it's one of those one-off jobs. You deal with it now, you haven't got to worry about it. It'll just go along in the background and you'll go along unfettered. So the foundations of improving email deliverability, it's tied in with domain names basically. So you have a domain name. That domain name is associated with a particular IP address. When you use a system like ours or any third-party system for sending emails, you will be using our IP address. So you'll use your domain, but our IP. And what we need to do is to tell the internet that there is a relationship between the two. It understands that relationship. The internet understands that relationship. When you send an email, it doesn't go directly from point A to the recipient. It goes from A to B to C to D to E, then through mail servers and through spam filters, and those are when the issues start. So if you haven't got what we're about to discuss today, if you haven't got things like this set up, then that's when spam filters kick in and you get booted into the long grass. So first things first, what we've got to do is set up the understanding of the internet around that it's okay for that domain to be sending from that IP address, and we do that by setting up an SPF tag. That's the first action. Again, come to us, we'll help you explain this. This isn't difficult stuff. It involves DNS changes for your domain, but once, as I said earlier, once it's done, it's done. To build the understanding between your domain and our IP address involves setting up an SPF tag. It's a DNS record on your domain, not difficult to do, and that is the first of 3 actions. This one now impacts when you send an email. Underlying that email is a source code. You typically don't see the source code, but the internet does, and that's the important thing. And then the internet looks to see if it's an authentic email. It's what they call an authentic email. If it doesn't recognise it as being authentic, it can spam filter. It can put up a message about spoofing. It can put up a message about phishing. And these are warning messages that will pop up in your customer's inbox, and it damages their trust and confidence in you. So again, you don't see it happens in their inbox, but that in itself should be ringing alarm bells with you. We can overcome that by creating something called a deaking record. What the deakin record does, it puts a string of unique code in the underlying source, and then the internet looks at the email that's been sent, looks at the source code that sits behind that email, and it sees this unique string of code, and it goes okay, and it takes that and that away from it, and it just says no, it's not spoofing, it's not phishing. Spam is still open to question because you can look at the other facets of email deliverability, subject lines, content, and contacts, but it's significant. This significantly helps. So now we've got an SPF tag to help the relationship between a domain name, your domain name, and our IP address. Now you've got a deakin record that tells the internet that this email is authentic, it's coming from the source that it says it's coming from, so that's all good and fine. I wonder sometimes how many people actually know that you have an online reputation, to coin a phrase, and drowning my own irony. The online reputation is really, really important. It impacts on things like Google searches. Sorry. It impacts on and your ranking in Google searches. If your online reputation is damaged, your Google searches will just fall away. That's it. You don't see that your online reputation is damaged, but if it does get damaged, your Google searches fall away. And then sometimes you'll hear people say, why are my emails going to junk? If you use just .co.uk emails, typically, so it's abc.co.uk, and you go, why are they going to junk? The chances are it's because your online reputation has been damaged. It can get damaged by reports of spam or blacklisting issues, or any number of issues can damage your online reputation. What we recommend is we set up on your behalf a domain. This completely de-risks you in terms of your email marketing. We set up a second domain. So if you are abc.co.uk, we'll set up one abc.com. Traditionally, we've always used abc.today for the sending domain. If anything should happen, if somebody should take umbrage with it and report you as spam, then it damages .today. It doesn't damage your .co.uk. So your online reputation goes along unfettered. These things do happen. You know, we're not saying that any of this is intentional, but they do happen, and this puts a buffer between your Google ranking, your corporate emails, getting to the right recipients and not dropping into junk. This is belt and braces in effect. We will set up your SPF tag on it, we'll set up your DKIM tag on it, so you haven't got to do anything. All you got to do is say, can we have a second domain please, just for sending emails from your system. That's all it does. And on that part you're covering the important issue of your of protecting your online reputation. I hope that wasn't too painful, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.